Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports, Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some NBA games for Thursday, December 9th, 2021. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking these games, you'll have to join my Patreon. My picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get to the games. We're going to be looking at the Jazz versus the Sixers, Lakers versus the Grizzlies, and then the Nuggets versus the Spurs. The way that I have my numbers set up here is I have my daily numbers on this side of the screen, date numerology, Gregorian, Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. So for example, up top here is the away team, their season record, their away record, any notes I want to add to it, their coach's record. In the middle here is the head-to-head between the two teams all time and for the season. And then at the bottom is the home team, their season record, their home record, any other notes I want to add, such as like winning streaks or if they're playing back-to-back, and then their coach's record. So let's start with the home team. I'm going to give out some numbers for the Sixers to win this game, and then I'm going to talk about some numbers for the Jazz, the away team, to win this game. So for the home team, the Sixers, what can play in Sixers' favor is the revenge narrative. Sixers can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Jazz for the season. This is their second and last game for the season, regular season, and so they can finish 1-1 head-to-head against the Jazz. This is the Sixers' 11th home game for the season. They can tie at 1-1, and then the Sixers would sit on 11 losses for the season in their 11th home game as they tie at 1-1 for like an 11. Today has 17 and 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. The number 26 sums to 48, and in the 26th game for the Sixers, they can get their 48th all-time head-to-head win against the Jazz, as the Jazz sit on 17 wins for the season with the loss. The number 26 sums to 48 and 84, and the Jazz would become 8-4 like 84 on the road with the loss. The Sixers, they can get their 15th win for the season as they become 6-5 like 65 for a home record with a win. And if we type in the number 15, 15 sums to 65. They could become 6-5. So those would be the numbers for the Sixers to win this game. For the Jazz, one thing I would point to would be the Hebrew Religious. It's the 271st day on the Hebrew Religious side of the calendar. 271 is the 58th prime number. Jazz can get their 58th all-time head-to-head win against the Sixers. Today does have 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. It could play in the favor for the Sixers. But at the same time, Jazz could sweep the Sixers for the season and become 2-0 head-to-head against, like 20. And the number 20 written out sums to 26. The Jazz, they can get their 18th win for the season as they become 9-3, like 93, as a road record with the win. And if you write out 93, for one, it sums to 62. And today has 62 date numerology on the Gregorian, but it also sums to 143. Just like the number 18 sums to 143. And Jazz can get their 18th win as they become 9-3, both summing to 143. And Jazz coach can get his 341st regular season win for his career. 341 is just an anagram of 143, and then 18 and 93 both sum to that 143 number. So it could be a pattern there for the Jazz. Let's go on to the Lakers and the Grizzlies. Let's start with the home team, and then we'll go to the away team. If the home team was going to win this game, if the Grizzlies, the home team, were going to win this game, it would be another revenge narrative, just like it would be for the Sixers. It would be the same exact thing. It would be a revenge narrative for the Grizzlies. This is the second of 4 games between these two teams, so they got 2 more games to go after this for the season. But Grizzlies can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Lakers with the win, like an 11 in their 15th home game for the season. And that would be their season record with the win. It would be 15-11 for a season record with the win in their 15th home game, as they even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Lakers, like an 11. 26 game for the Lakers, 26 game for the Grizzlies. Today has 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. It also has 62 date numerology on the Gregorian. And the Lakers coach, he can get a 62nd regular season loss as a coach, specifically for the Lakers. This is his 169th regular season. Excuse me, it's his 169th regular season game coaching for the Lakers specifically, and he can get his 62nd loss. But 169 mathematically has a square root of 13, so 13 times 13 sums to 169. 13 times 13, 169. Lakers can become 13-13 for a season record with the loss. 13 times 13 sums to 169. Their coach's 169th game. He can get a 62nd loss, 62nd date numerology. And then you throw in the revenge narrative 11, 15 home game. They could become 15-11. And those would be the numbers for the Grizzlies. If the Lakers were going to win this game, we would look at the number 26 and 62 again. 26 date numerology, 62 date numerology. It's both these teams' 26th game for the season. Lakers can get their 62nd all-time head-to-head win against the Grizzlies instead of the Lakers coach getting a 62nd loss. And if they get their 62nd all-time head-to-head win against the Grizzlies, Lakers would become 2-0, like 20 head-to-head against the Grizzlies for the season. And the number 20 sums to 26. Grizzlies coach, he would get his 85th regular season loss for his career, and 85 written out sums to 62. So it'd be a 26-62 thing for the Lakers if they were to win this game. On top of that, Lakers would become 5-5 on the road, like 55. And if we spell out the number 55, 55 written out sums to 54. Today is the 50th of the 4th month on the Hebrew Civil, like 54, but it also sums to 108. And Lakers coach, he can get his 108th regular season win as a coach for Lakers as they become 5-5, like 55. 55 sums to 108. And let's go ahead and check out the Nuggets and the Spurs. I didn't find a whole lot for them. Pretty straightforward Gregorian connections if it were to go. But there's not a whole lot here. So let's start with the home team, and then we'll look at the away team. The home team, the Spurs. If the Spurs were going to win this game, it'd be 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. 26 sums to 159, and it sums to 84. Spurs, they could become 9-15 for a season record with the win. 9-15 is just an anagram of 159. And Spurs would sit on 84 all-time head-to-head losses against the Nuggets with the win. 26 sums to 159 and 84. It's a day with 17 date numerology on the Gregorian. Nuggets would become 5-9, like 59 on the road with the loss. 59, the 17th prime number. The Spurs are looking for revenge on the season. They could become 1-1 head-to-head against the Nuggets with the win. I just didn't see any other 11 connections that would kind of go with it. So basically all the home teams, Spurs, Grizzlies, and the Sixers, all the home teams' narrative could be the revenge narrative. Sixers are looking for revenge against the Jazz to go 1-1 for the season. Grizzlies are looking for revenge to go 1-1 for the season. Spurs could be looking for revenge to go 1-1 for the season. The only difference between this game and the other two is Grizzlies have that 11 they can sit on, And same with the Sixers. They have that 11 they can sit on in their 11th home game, particularly. So I guess we'll just have to see how that plays out for each team and see if any of it had any importance. But Spurs, they can go with that 9-15, that 84. Nuggets 5-9. They get that revenge narrative 11-1-1 is what I would put towards Spurs. If the Nuggets were going to win this game, basically the same numbers, but 42 and 62 is what I would look at. 42 date numerology, 62 date numerology on the Gregorian. 42 sums to 142, and Nuggets can sit on 142 all-time losses against the Spurs with the win, as they get their 85th all-time head-to-head win against the Spurs. And 85 sums to 62. So that could be a Nuggets thing. And then Spurs could become 4-8, like 48 at home for a season record with the loss. 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. 26 sums to 48. And then Nuggets can go 2-0, like 20 head-to-head against the Spurs. And we know 20 written out sums to 26 date numerology. So that could be in favor for the Nuggets. Nuggets are going to get their 13th win or their 13th loss either way. So any 13 connections doesn't really help. Outside of that, I didn't really have much for this game. So this one's kind of a tough one. You know, Nuggets, I would imagine they're going to pick up their 75th regular season head-to-head win against the Spurs sometime during this season. They play each other 4 times. Nuggets have already won one of the games. They're going to get their 75th at some point in time in the next 3 games, whether it's this one or the other 2. Just because this is the season that celebrates the 75th anniversary of the NBA. So that 75 is going to hit. Could it be this game? Potentially. Or it could be the other 2. So that would be the guess. But they have that 142 and 85 in their favor. And then outside of that, that's about all I've found. Not a whole lot for this one. But all in all, hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you an idea of where some of the numbers are at. Kind of what's there and what's not there. And hopefully it adds to what you already have or something that you can build on top of if you haven't already had time to make your own decode. But I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the support. And I wish you the best of luck on all your picks.